Hey everybody! I'm a little late. I don't think it's daylight savings time. I think it's just my normal. I think I need to just say Make It Monday is 2-ish. I hope you're all doing okay. I am. What put through me this morning was I'm redoing my craft area and my studio here, and I got some of my furniture this weekend, so I'm setting up different stations, and I was having trouble. I'm going to have to get the workflow going. If you're here, please say hello. I love to chat with you. We got the comments on. I hope you're having a great Monday. Catching up on your 1 hour that we lost on Sunday. We're going to make something really cute today. And we made a basket last Monday. Hi, Chris. Hi, Letha. So we're going to make another little basket. I was kind of thinking like a pot of gold for St. Patrick's Day this week. But this could certainly be made using different colors and turned into an Easter basket, a May Day basket, something cute for Mother's Day, a little party favor. But I did it in, and I probably have a little bit too much stuffy in here. I turned it into a St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to do a lot of punch art or die cutting. We're going to do some die cutting. I've already done a bunch ahead of time. And so I'm going to show you how, first of all, to make this cute little basket, and then how I made the rainbow and the cloud and the whatever those are called. Shamrocks I use dies, but if you have punches will work too. Hi, Kay. Hi, Mom. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you all. I'm going to turn my camera around here. Put my little face in the corner. Like I said, I was working on my studio this weekend and getting everything how I kind of like it. I'm sure we'll have to, I'll have to work with things, and it's always a work in progress. Okay, to make the little basket, all you're going to need is a piece of 6x6 cardstock or designer series paper, whatever you choose. And I wanted my basket to have a little texture, so I stuck it in the middle of the, where is that folder? Here it is. And I believe it's the Tasteful Textile folder. I thought it looked kind of like a basket. I just stuck the piece of 6x6 right in the center here, because these are all going to be tucked up into the top of the basket, and we won't see this part. So I just did that. You can do all your cutting and scoring and all of that before you emboss it, but I went ahead just to save us time, and so you wouldn't have to watch me run it through my stamp and cut and emboss machine. I went ahead and did it ahead of time. So we are going to cut, excuse me, we're not going to cut. We're going to score our 6x6 piece of paper. We're going to create 9 little boxes. So I'm going to score it at 2 and 4. And then I'm going to turn it and score it at 2 and 4. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are going to be the sides, the part we didn't emboss. These are going to be the sides that we're going to kind of curl up to turn it into the basket. So what we're going to do on these is we are going to divide these into these 2-inch squares into 3 equal strips. And I've lost my little sheets, so I'm going to have to figure this out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if I divide 16 into 3 That would be about 5/8. So I'm gonna score it at 5/8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm gonna score it at 1 3/8. And I'm only going to this first score line. I didn't mention that. 5/8 and 1 3/8. So we're gonna have 3 little strips, and you'll see what I mean. And then you're gonna do that. I'm just gonna flip it here and do this side, 5/8 and 1 3/8. And then I'm gonna flip it and do this end. Oops, 5/8 and 1 3/8. I always like to use my scoring board when I'm doing something like this that requires a lot of scoring, because it just helps me stay on track. You know how squirrely I get. So I hope you can see we did those 5/8 and 1 3/8 just down to this first line. And then we turned it around and we did it on the other two. So we didn't do any of that on our center. This is going to be our basket. So now we're going to trim, and I'm going to grab some snips here. Oh, one other thing. Forgot one thing. We're going to put a little notch at 3 inches. Just boop. That's the center of the basket. So I just did a tiny little notch. Then we're going to do it again over on this side. Boop. Just a little notch, because we have just a little bit more. We're going to do some more cutting using that notch. Okay, let's get to trimming. So I'm going to cut up on these 6 strips we made on each end. These are what are going to curl up and make our basket. You'll notice that center little strip is a little thicker than the other two, but it's just because you can't divide everything equally on the scoring board. So I'm just cutting up on those little score lines that we made. So it looks like we have a bunch of little strips on both sides. Now we can go ahead and kind of score on the, oops, I forgot one. Fold on all of our remaining score lines. We could have done that before we did all the cutting, but this will just help us when we put the basket together if we go ahead and kind of fold on these score lines. Hi, Carol. Hi, Susan. Okay, now remember those little tick marks we made at the 3-inch mark? We are going to just cut from that little tick mark a straight line down to this corner and pull that off. I'll move these out of the way so it's a little easier to see. So here's our tick mark. We're going to end up with like a little mountain or a little triangle. Okay? It looks weird, but I promise you it's going to turn into a basket. Okay, so that's all our cutting. Now we're going to pull these up and adhere them like that, the top ones to the top. And you see where we didn't have any embossing? I'm going to just kind of use that as a guide to how far I want to glue them together. So I am going to use my favorite liquid adhesive, the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm just going to have those meet at the center. Have to hold it for a little bit for that glue to dry. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little glue on the inside of all these remaining tabs, and we're going to bring them up to the top. See how I'm bringing them up to meet right up here where we met the two? And then while you're doing that, you can kind of work your folds so that they're more crisp. I need to turn my email off so you guys don't hear that ding. Okay, and then finally you're going to bring the bottom two up and see how that kind of curved our basket so it's not a square anymore. And then we're going to bring this triangle that we just cut up to meet that. So I'm just going to put some glue right here, and we're going to cover up all this mess here in a minute at the top. So like I said, you can kind of work with your folds and get it how you like it. Here, I'll show you on the back how that kind of worked. We're going to cut a little circle to cover that up. I think I forgot to do that, so you get to watch me do that. Okay, now we're going to do the very same thing on this other side. So we're going to meet these two, the top ones, here in the middle. Kind of gauge where your other side is, make it look balanced. Looks pretty good. Thank you, Carol. These have been around a while, but they're fun, and I thought it would be fun since we have St. Patrick's Day this week. Maybe you could make a little basket for somebody. Get some gold candy. What comes in gold wrappers? Like the Forever Rochers. Those are in gold foil. I think you can get those Nestle almond little candy bars. We don't have gold coins in America. We have some gold coins, but I think there's some gold coin candy we could do. And then I'm going to put this little triangle part up here. And like I said, we're going to cover up all this at the top. It gets kind of bunched up there. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab a piece of paper because I think I forgot to do the circle. So let's cut out, I think I did this size. Yes. This is about a 1 3/4 circle. And these are the dies we're going to use, the layering circle dies to make our rainbow. It's really fun and really easy. So I'm going to need 2 of these little circles, and I apologize for not doing that. It skipped my mind. I'm going to grab my little cutting machine. So you want one of these for the front and one of these for the back. The front, since we're going to put the tag on there, you could probably get away with not, but this will finish it out a little bit nicer. Okay. There we go. If you have a punch, you could use a punch as well. I'm just using the circles because I have them. And I had them handy. Okay, so these I just, I didn't divide it in half or any measurement. I just made sure I was covering up that part that we didn't get embossed. So, and I'm going to trim this flat so my little circle will fold over that nicely. So anything that was sticking up there from our folds. Thank you, Donna. Okay. I might surprise my husband with this. I might have this sitting on his desk when he goes to work on Wednesday. I hope he didn't hear me. Okay, and then I just folded that circle over the edge. And then if you want to, you can use your bone folder and give it a really sharp crease. And then you're going to want to glue it toward the inside as well. So that kind of finishes off the front and it covers up all that mess we made. And then you've got a little basket. Like I said, I considered making it in black and calling it a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but I wanted to use a little color. And I think it turned out. I didn't cut these. When you use the multi-purpose liquid glue, it takes a little longer because you got to hold it till it kind of grabs. But once it grabs, it's really a strong adhesive. So I like to use it on 3D projects like this. It's pretty economical too, so. Okay, that's the basket. And then for the handle, I just took an 8.5 inch by 1/2 inch piece of, this is shaded spruce, what I'm making the basket from, cardstock. And I did not emboss the handle. It's just gonna be plain. And I'm gonna just attach it to the basket. If I was gonna put something really heavy in here, I might use a brad to secure it, but I think it's pretty strong and I don't plan on using too much, making it too heavy. Okay, so decide which one we like the best, which side. This one has a little crease, but I think I like it the best. Okay, for our little tag, this is what I used. I used the circle dies, and I used every plain die except for the largest. So I used this one. You can tell they just all layer inside of each other. And what you end up with, you start out with the largest and then the next largest. And you're going to find out what color you want to have. Cut that out. Then you lay the largest one aside. You're done with it. You're going to take this one and take the next largest and make your next color ring. Then you take the larger one away and use the smaller one and go like that. Take the larger one away, cut another one, take the larger one away, and you just keep going. And I've already cut the rings because you don't want to watch me cut all these rings, but that's what you do till you end up with this. You end up with all these rings. And then I took a piece of the shaded spruce and I used that largest circle die to cut that out. It's going to be the base of my rainbow. I could have used Whisper White. I could have used anything, but for some reason I had that out, and so I used it. So I'm going to layer all these circles on here. We're going to adhere it. And you're going to end up making 2 rainbows. Oh, thank you, Michelle. How are you? Long time no see. You're out on your paddleboard, right? I saw your new one, and I don't know how you carry that thing. Okay, I'm using some adhesive. And then I just put it on that little circle, and I'm going to add all the rings to it. And I kind of messed up on this Mambo Melon one. It's not centered exactly, and you'll see that like it's a little smaller down here. But that's okay. I don't think anybody will notice. If they do, they're looking too hard. But they might not sandwich up together as well because see, it's a little narrower. So I'm going to use this top part for my rainbow. And then this one. And then this one. And then our smaller one. Now, to get rid of this center, you could use a punch. I went ahead and just used the die. The smallest die. I just kind of set it in there, and we'll cut it out again. I was wondering if a 1-inch punch would work, but I was afraid to try it. After I cut all those rings out, I just wanted to make sure it would fit. I was too afraid. And there we go. There's our little circle. Now see, when we cut it in half, you'll have 2 rainbows. And I still have a little of that adhesive on there that I'll have to clean off. Okay, so what I did, like I said, since I kind of messed up on this Melon Mambo one and I've got a little bit of an edge on there, I'm going to just probably cut my rainbow a little larger and then just pitch this because that'll bother me, but some people it might not bother. It will bother me. You don't know how hard it was for me not to recut it. But I was already 10 minutes late coming on, so I thought I don't have time to cut another ring. Got a little adhesive on here I'm going to get off. Okay, so I took the third largest, yes, the third largest scalloped circle from the layering circles. And I cut a Soft Sky scallop circle because soft sky. Our rainbow's going to be in the sky. And that's literally how I chose that color. And I'm just going to glue that on to the front of the basket. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals and pop my my rainbow kind of helter-skelter little cattywomp onto my basket front. I tried just putting the rainbow on the basket front by itself, and it just looked too, it just needed something else. So the scallop circle I think turned out really well. Okay, and then for our Have a Lucky Day, I used a scrap of Whisper White, and I do have a cloud die, but it's retired, and I like to use things that aren't retired, so if you don't have anything, or you could freehand it, because I'm going to show you kind of what I did. I took this ice cream punch that's in the new mini catalog, and I cut the top off, and then I made a little handle. If you've ever been able to come to any of my live classes, you know how I like to use handles. And then I kind of stuck it down there again to make some more fluffiness. I'm going to end up using my snips afterwards, but I'm going to see if I pull that out, what happens. Whoops. There we go. Okay, this is literally how I made my little cloud. So it looks a little janky right now, but I am going to take my paper snips. In fact, this one isn't as big as my other one, and kind of clean it up. You could also, you know, if you're really good at this, you could just do it by hand. Stuff like that scares me to death. Or you could trace a cloud image off the internet and do it that way. All right. I think that's a little cloud-like, don't you? And then I use the Shaded Spruce ink to stamp the Have a Lucky Day. And I took that from the Itty Bitty Greetings. You guys know I use this all the time. It's perfect for little tags like this because they're really small. And so I can fit it on my little cloud here. I'm gonna trim that up a little bit. There we go. I'll try not to get my head in here. Okay. That's all the stamping we're doing today. And I just attached the cloud with a little of my adhesive at the bottom of the rainbow. You may have a cloud punch, a cloud die. Like I said, I do have a cloud die, but it's retired, and I don't like to use retired things in case that would be discouraging to you guys. Okay, and then for the little, is it one box now? Mine comes in 2 boxes. My catalog's across the way, but let's check on that. Well, I'll check on that and put it in the comments at the end. For the little hearts that I used for the shamrock, I'm using the wreath builder dies. We used this last week to make our little Happy Easter bag. Isn't that cute? I love that. That's one of my favorite things. And I used this tiny little heart. And these 2 hearts, they cut out and you get 3 of them. So there you go. So I cut also just a little strip. These are Granny Apple Green. I just used my snips and cut a little strip of cardstock with my trimmer, my paper trimmer. And then I'm gluing 2, and you could do 4. I just did 3. I thought that it looked cuter. But we could have put another heart down here for a 4-leaf clover. So there's our little shamrock. And then I just trimmed it off. That's probably still a little too much. And I just glued that on there as well. So that is our little St. Patrick's Day basket or pot of gold. I'll take some of this off of here. We'll share it. I think an empty basket is always depressing. So I had to go find some shreddy to put in here. And this is kind of gold shreddy. Donna Pollock, I will put that in the comments. I will answer your question as soon as I get off of here and check that out. Maybe it is. Is it photopolymer? I'll have to check it out. I've had mine for quite a while, so I'll have to update myself. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Oh, the reason I'm here today is because I got a text on Friday that I was excused from jury duty and I'm excused for 3 years. So I don't know what happened. They told me that my request was denied. I just was afraid if anything ran over. You know, my mom has several appointments next week and, you know, I just didn't know. So I did put that in as an excuse and they denied it. So I thought, okay, well, we'll just go. But I got a text to not show up. It said, do not show up at the courthouse. So anyway, so I got to be here. So that made me happy. Yes. So I will be back on Wednesday with coffee and a card, and you guys have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.